This is Tanya Mosley, co-host of Fresh Air. You'll see your favorite actors, directors, and comedians on late-night TV shows or YouTube. But what you get with Fresh Air is a deep dive. Spend some quality time with people like Billie Eilish, Questlove, Ariana Grande, Stephen Colbert, and so many more. We ask questions you won't hear asked anywhere else. Listen to the Fresh Air podcast from NPR and WHYY.
This is WCBU's Out and About. I'm Dr. May Gilliland of Arts Partners of Central Illinois, and today we are talking with artist Lori Reed about the Harvard Avenue Artist Show, up now through the end of the month at Exhibit A Gallery in Peoria Heights. The opening reception is Friday, April 11th from 5 to 7 p.m. Lori, welcome to Out and About.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Lori, this show is so unique, not just in the art itself, but in the fact that all four of the artists live on the same block. How did the idea for the Harvard Avenue Artists exhibition first come together?
Well, we're a very social block, which I think is unusual in this day and age. We tend to have parties together, some regular standing events like Blocktoberfest, but we also will meet around a fire in somebody's backyard often. And at one of those gatherings, someone said, "Do you realize how many artists we have in this one block?" And then it was Teresa McDade who said, "Let's approach Barb at Exhibit A to see if she could give us a show."
You've known these artists not just as neighbors, but as fellow creatives. What has it been like to see their work come together in this show alongside your own?
It's been really fun. Teresa was working on a new body of mixed media paintings that none of us had seen. So it wasn't until we hung the show that we saw hers. Dave Wood cleaned out his basement during the pandemic and found all of the stained glass that he had used when he took a class here at Bradley and decided to start making work again. So we've seen some of his pieces along the way at parties he'll show us. But he has a nice variety of some that are humorous and some that are more traditional. Joe Corey has been a photographer for 20 years. He shared some of his photos of birds in Florida with me. I dropped out the backgrounds, put them in front of impressionistic painting, ran filters on them, cut them into strips, made new pieces of art out of these multiple filtered images, and then embed other things into the foreground that are kind of surprises, like Van Gogh's handwriting is in the rabbit, which is in his field. It's nice that Joe and I collaborated a little bit with imagery, and I think all the work plays well together. It's a nice variety, and we have a lot of work in the show.
Speaking of which, there are 58 pieces in the show featuring 4 very different artistic styles. What do you think ties all of the work together?
I would say it's joy in making, that all the work feels very happy and is either focused on nature or color. I know that Dave Wood talked about working with the different colors in his glass, finding things that talked to each other and worked well. So I think that all of the work kind of is having a dialogue in the gallery.
You mentioned that you have mixed media collages in this show, and you also noted that you had put a bird in the foreground of an impressionist painting. What inspired you to explore that particular concept?
I had started taking my own photographs and kind of doing a little mashup, like, oh, here's a butterfly from this tropical botanic garden in Miami. I'm going to supersize it and put it over some tile that I photographed in that botanical garden.
What do you hope people take away from this exhibition, not just about the art, but maybe about the power of neighborhood and collaboration?
Well, I think we are a good example of how to be neighbors, that we lose track of that. We're all on our back deck looking at our phone, whereas on our street we tend to be walking down the sidewalk, stopping at a mailbox, talking to a neighbor, and then a neighbor comes out who saw us, and your walk becomes very extended because you're having all these conversations.
That was artist Lori Reed talking about the Harvard Avenue Artist Show, up now through the end of the month at Exhibit A Gallery in Peoria Heights. Lori, thank you so much for joining me in the studio today.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Out and About, production of WCBU and Arts Partners of Central Illinois, designed to connect you with the arts community. Our producer is John Norton. Find this episode at WCBU.org and subscribe to the Out and About podcast wherever you download.
Support for arts and culture coverage on WCBU comes from PNC Financial Services. PNC is committed to supporting local art and culture events in the communities they serve.